Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome, man. Just want to do a quick video, man. The Bears had their, I like to call it Chicago Bears season wrap up or State of the Union address there up at Hallis Hall. It's your boy Barbershop Scott here. If you are new to the channel, please press subscribe right there. Trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're road to 500. We have 443. Let's get us to 500, man. Shout out to everybody who has subscribed. I appreciate y'all. The link to the Patreon, where I got a lot of exclusive content, all of my social media handles, and all of the Barber's Chair Network podcast platforms are in the description box. So please click all of those, man. Yeah, this is a real quick video. Won't be long at all. But in fact, I spent more time traveling to and from Hallis Hall today than I actually spent at Hallis Hall. But today was the State of the Union, which usually happens towards the end of the season, where you speak to the head coach, speak to the general manager. Last year, obviously, was a whole different situation with the Bears pretty much firing the entire head coaching staff. And it was more talk about what the division was going to be looking for their new coach. In fact, today is the 1-year anniversary of Ben Johnson officially signing his 5-year contract with the Chicago Bears. Man, it's how much can change in a year, man. I think this is just, I don't want to get too deep, but for anybody who's feeling down in the dumps and like, yo, man, well, how can I change my life and things like that? A lot can happen in a fucking year. I mean, a lot can happen in 6 months. I just know stuff personally that's happened in my life and for some of my loved ones, man. A lot of stuff has changed in just 90 days. So a year is a completely different thing. At this time a year ago, the Bears were, in disarray. This was the first day of the Ben Johnson era. Everybody was hoping that he would be the head coach that the Bears wanted him to be, and that Caleb Williams could be the quarterback that they wanted him to be. Fast forward 12 months later, the Bears were NFC North Division champions for the first time in 7 years. They won 11 games. First time they won double-digit games in 7 years. Beat the Green Bay Packers twice this season, like Ben Johnson said in his press conference he was going to do. Won a playoff game for the first time in 15 years, and that playoff game being against the Green Bay Packers, which is the first Packers playoff win since like World War II, which moved the Bears all time 2-1 against their rivals up north in all-time playoff standings. Caleb Williams, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Bears quarterback, franchise quarterback. I mean, you would have thought the Rams lost on Sunday from all the coverage I've seen this week on the Bears. I have seen nothing on the LA Rams this week. I ain't seen no NFC North or no NFC Championship coverage, nothing. I'm pretty sure we'll get more of that as the weekend comes with the game coming, but it's all been Caleb. It's all been, Bears season wrap-ups. NFL Films has been doing a lot with the Bears. And of course, the touchdown from Cole Kmet that sent it into overtime. That's all you've seen everywhere, man. And even some of Caleb's staunchest detractors, I guess, guys like Colin Cowherd, and especially guys like Chris Canty, are singing his praises. So I think obviously there's Packer fans out there who still want to act in their stupid ass head that Jordan Love is a better quarterback. I know how it feels to think that your mediocre quarterback is good. Trust me. If 3 wins out of the last 4 don't convince you by now, I don't know what to tell you. If a playoff win against y'all don't know, I don't know what to tell you. It's just that simple, man. Caleb is the guy. So I just want to quickly go over what happened today. Not too much happened. I just want to give my opinion on what I heard today. By the way, I made like a minute and a half, 2-minute reel of, the opening statements from Ben and from Ryan Poles. You can check that right now on the YouTube. It's just a little YouTube short if you want to see actual, clips of what happened. Now, it was a packed house at Hallis Hall. I didn't get that late, but there was a lot of people there. And y'all know white people like to be early. I mean, I'm the most punctual black man that I know, but they was even earlier than me. Hallis Hall opened at 9:30, and I got there at 9:38. All right, and there was packed to the brim. I didn't have a seat. I was all the way in the back. I had to bring my actual chair from my desk at Hallis Hall and roll it in there. So I'm a little far back video-wise, but I did the best I can. So if you want to check that video, I was like a minute and 32-minute of Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson's opening statement that I put on there, so you can check that out. Anyway, the overall sentiment from Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson spoke first. Of course, what's always funny about these year-end press conferences, I don't know how other teams in the NFL do it, but this is like the 3rd or 4th one I've been to with the Bears, and you always have like the the brain trust sitting on the side. So Kevin Warren was sitting over there. The owner, George McCaskey, was sitting over there. And two other McCaskeys. I don't know their name. I don't even know their relation to George. I don't know if these are George's sons, George's nephews, George's cousins, or whatever the hell. It's like 80 McCaskeys when you see the Bears season opening pamphlet they hand out at the beginning of the year. So I don't know which McCaskeys they are, but there's two other McCaskeys there. And of course, head of player personnel, Terry Crews, and all the great staff that they have at the Bears who always help me out and help the other media out. So big shouts to them. They're all sitting on the side. And I gotta give a shout out to the Bears because they gave us breakfast. Usually the Bears only feed us during training camp, but when they do feed us during training camp, it's like those. I don't know. For those of you who did go to Chicago Public School, it's like the CPS lunches that they give you when you go on a field trip. Obviously I'm thankful for it because I will, when you're sitting in that 80 to 90 to 100-degree heat in the dead of summer in hot ass Lake Forest, those sandwiches and those cookies do come in handy. But they never feed us during the season. Like they got us Chick-fil-A breakfast, bro. I had two chicken biscuits. They had like the different sweet tea and stuff like that. So big shouts to the Bears for feeding the media today, man. So yeah, that was dope. But Ben Johnson's very intense, as we all know by now. He went up there. He basically said that, we had our goal. We didn't accomplish our goal. And we can't sit up here and say this is the beginning of something. We don't know, which is something that him and Caleb echoed from the first press conference immediately after the game ended Sunday. And Ben re-echoed that today. He said, we don't get the build from this. We're starting back from square one. So his big emphasis was it wasn't good enough. It was fun, but it wasn't good enough. And we need to get better in different margins to be able to go from playoff team to legitimate Super Bowl contender. So he really hammered down on that, said that he is, Caleb's biggest fan right now. And he said, this is Caleb just scratching the surface, and basically says he has supreme confidence in his quarterback, which definitely is a lot different. It's definitely a lot different from what he said a year ago. Obviously, he didn't know Caleb. So that was what I thought. He talked about the interception that ended the game. He took blame. Obviously, Caleb took blame on Sunday. Caleb took blame on Monday. And now Ben Johnson said he's to blame for the miscommunication. He did say he had a great conversation with DJ Moore as far as what his end of the season conversation was. When he didn't, DJ Moore has not spoke to the media. He didn't speak to the media after the game on Sunday. He didn't speak to the media during like a clean out on Monday. Now, neither Ben Johnson or Ryan Poles said that it was concussion related. So I'm gonna go out there and say it wasn't concussion related. And I just think it just wasn't a good look for him to speak to the media. So, but this is what Ben Johnson said about DJ Moore. He called him a key guy in the team and a huge contributor. So that was a real backing of DJ Moore from his head coach. Now, Ryan Poles said something a little different, which had my spidey senses tingling, but we'll get to that in just a minute. His actual quote was, there's no building off. This is back to square one as far as what he thinks about the season. And he said, everybody just needs a break. He needs a break. The coaching staff needs a break. He said his number one message to Caleb was to take a break and get away from football. And the entire team is going to take like 6 weeks to recalibrate. And then, of course, you're going to get ready for the NFL Combine and, of course, beginning of a new league year and, free agency trades and all that good stuff. So, I'm just guessing a 6-week break. I don't know how long these dudes actually be on break. I'm pretty sure if you're Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles, and if you're Ryan Poles, your GM, you never really have a break. If you're a sicko like Ben Johnson, I'm pretty sure he probably takes a week with the family and he's right back in the lab, and especially, like that. So we'll see how that is. So really what I got from Ben Johnson was just more of a acknowledging what they did, but he's not satisfied in the slightest. And it sounds like he's hell-bent on correcting mistakes that they made. And he really made an emphasis on his mistakes as well, which I thought was good. Going on to Ryan Poles. He a couple of the media, I forgot what a reporter asked, is pretty much acknowledged that this was Ryan Poles' best draft, which it was. Like, y'all know I'm not his biggest fan, but this was his best draft. Colston Loveland was a hit. Luther Burden hit. Ozzie Trapilio really played well. Shamar Turner was playing well before he got injured. Kyle Monungai was a hit. I mean, it just really looked like he really hit all different tones, man. So he went out there and, he had a I'll say a softer approach than Ben Johnson did. He said that even though the team didn't accomplish their main goal, he was very proud of the progress that the team made. We didn't hear anything from Ben Johnson, but he also wanted to give love to the fans. He said he had never seen Soldier Field like they had been the last month of the season, especially those last 3 games. Those last 2 playoff games, and he said people were hitting him up, his family, saying that they were seeing whole bunch of Bears jerseys from O'Hare just when they were out, and just really giving a big compliment to the culture that the team built and just the fans being so happy about this team winning again. He said that both left tackle Ozzie Trapilio and linebacker Noah Sewell both had successful surgeries, but there's no timetable on either player's return. What I took from that is I wouldn't expect Ozzie Trapilio or Noah Sewell to be back anytime soon. I do think they're going to look into get a veteran left tackle in offseason, particularly probably in free agency or a trade. Doesn't seem like he's going to be there. This was very interesting on the DB free agencies. Obviously, we know the starting safeties for the Bears, Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, are both unrestricted free agents. This was interesting to me, Ryan Poles said. When asked about the free agency of the safeties, Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, Ryan Poles said they will take a step back and evaluate, but called Kevin Byard a special player and would love to have him back. And this comes off the back of Kevin Byard saying on Monday during locker room cleanup that there was mutual interest between both parties to try to get a deal done. He didn't even mention Jaquan Brisker at all, which to me tells me that Jaquan's going bye-bye. And I like Jaquan. I think Jaquan was a good player, solid player. He was one of Ryan Poles' first 2 draft picks in 2022. But what we saw him play on Sunday is what you would want him to play like almost every week. And he just hasn't done that. Concussion has been an issue. And I just feel like he's going to get a lot more in the open market. And if you're a guy going into his first big contract of his career, as much as he probably loves playing in Chicago, and we know he does, he's going to take where the money's at. And I just don't think the Bears are going to offer what other teams are going to offer him. But from this quote about Kevin Byard, from what Kevin Byard said on Monday, I think it's a good chance that Kevin Byard could be back in Chicago. And I think that would be great. KB will be great. He was great these last 2 years, and I'd love to have him back. Ryan Poles said on the closed games that they were exciting, but he would rather not be the cardiac Bears going forward. I think we all would agree with him on that. Now, this is what he said about DJ Moore, which had my spidey senses tingling. He says one thing about DJ Moore didn't care about the stats. All he cared about was his winning. His toughness rubbed off on our team. If they were dinged up, it's like they almost had to play because DJ was playing. And this is what was interesting. He said, now, as far as in terms of rosters, we have a lot of decisions to make. What I took from that is this. I took from that if the deal is right, DJ Moore will be gone. That's just my interpretation. I don't know what other media members who in that room interpretation was, so don't take my word as gospel. That's just what I took it. I took it as we love DJ. DJ did great. But if there was a right deal, we'll see what the deal looks like. So I think that's going to be a low-key story during this offseason. Y'all know how I feel about it. I said on 7 Night the Hallis yesterday, I would keep DJ Moore unless you just get you an offer you can't refuse. A team offers you a first-round pick, which I don't know why the hell you offer a first-round pick for a wide receiver almost hitting 30. But if that or somebody offers you 2 seconds, I would do it. I don't know if there's any trade out there that would make up for the input and the not the input, but the output that DJ Moore gives you. And I'm just not confident in the year that Rome Odunze had to be giving up on him yet. So I think that'd be an interesting thing to look at, man. But that's pretty much all that happened. There wasn't too much to happen. A lot of coach speak, a lot of GM speak. So I do feel like that they know that they got to fix this defense. Ryan Poles pretty much said that in the nicest of ways, that DA did a good job, but they got to get better, especially the pass rush. So we'll see how that happens, man. I will be doing, I'm not going to hold you live on Friday. Of course, that'll be on H&B Media. Check that out. We will be giving our final thoughts on the Bears season. I gave mine on 7 Night the Hallis, but Bang and Dante give theirs. And then we're going to do a full preview of Championship Sunday. Yes, Bears fan, football does move on. The NFC and AFC championships will be kicking off. Denver Broncos will be hosting Drake May and the New England Patriots in the first game of the weekend. win the AFC title, and then in the NFC, you got the Seattle Seahawks hosting the team that beat the Bears, Los Angeles Rams. The winner will meet in 2 weeks in San Francisco. Well, really, Santa Clarita, California, at Levi Stadium for Super Bowl 60. Your boy will be down there. At the beginning of Super Bowl week, I'll be there for like 4 days covering the Super Bowl. Will not be at the game. It was my choice not to be at the game because I would rather watch Super Bowl home. I'm gonna be real. Super Bowl doesn't look like one of those events that looks cool watching in a very, very packed, congested press box. But I will be there for opening night on Monday for opening festivities. You know where they bring the teams out, interviews, and I will be there for the first 3 days of Radio Row, man. So tune in for that. But that is all I got for y'all, man. Like, share, subscribe. If you are new to the channel, press the subscribe button right now. We're gonna have a lot of dope content during the off season. And yeah, just subscribe. Trying to get to 500 follows at 443 right now. If you want to subscribe, if you want to follow any of my social media handles, that's Twitter/X, that's YouTube, that's Instagram, TikTok. All the handles are at Barbchair Scott, and the link is in the description box to the Patreon, all the podcast platforms, man. So that's all I got for y'all. I will holler at y'all on Friday. For I'm Not Gonna Hold You with me, Bang and Dante. I'm about it.